So what setup will give you an advantage in the horse racing markets on Betfair's exchange? And maybe more importantly, is your current setup holding you back? Last week we uploaded a football trading setup video which was extremely popular on YouTube, where several of you guys asked to see my personal pre-race trading setup. So in this video that's exactly what I'm going to take you through from start to finish, on screen how I've got things set up, and then afterwards the hardware that I recommend and use myself. So to start off then, we're going to look at the dual screen setup on screen. I've got two screens here, so on the left hand screen I've got the majority of my software stuff, and on the right hand screen I've got a few different websites, a few different points of information that I want to share with you as well, so we'll look at that in a second, before coming back to this race once it's picked up and there's more activity going on, so you can see things in full flow and action. And I'll go through the settings too, the settings that I use for horse racing in this video. But before I do that, I can see straight away that look, this horse looks like it's going to drift, so I place a lay bet in the market there. She's Our Derby. I think that that's likely to go out, and the price has spiked out as I've got that bet in the market. So I've laid it for 200 quid and only 60 odd quid's been matched. So if we look at the right hand side, the screen's here. I've got 4 different tabs along the top there. Betfair live video, very self-explanatory. Next tab along, I've got the Sporting Life. I like to look at this. It shows us the odds down on course if you click live shows on the race cards there, just highlighting that on screen. And to right, you've got the overall odds with all the the large books and stuff online. So you can see if there's a little difference there. Also, there's a little selector. You can put them in order of current odds. To the next tab, Racing Post, very similar to the odds checker. There's a few different tabs here just showing you on screen, but the one that we're probably most interested in whilst we're trading horse racing for a bit of information is the odds comparisons. It's a little bit slow, it's not always that accurate, but sometimes this grid can flag up really if one horse is steaming in particular or drifting heavily. You can see there Lively Citizen has come in recently, blue just highlighted on screen. She's Our Derby has gone pink, and that means it's currently drifting, which is good because we placed a lay trade on She's Our Derby there for the price to drift out. So to highlight the money in the market there, you can see on the traded volume bars on the side, the dark and light green. We've got down the bottom the Betfair charts, and up to the left we've got the start time to the race. We've got 7.5 minutes to go as yet. Currently £57.74 has been matched on the lay side of the book, which gives us a liability of 129 quid. She's Our Derby being the former favourite, currently drifting, and we're going into a positive position here. So on the ladder interface, I like to have the profit and loss column showing also, because that shows me where I can cash out, if you like, for people that aren't quite so familiar with software, ahead of time before we get there, whereas on the website you only really get the option to cash out at the current price. So on the left we've got a market overview chart which shows us all of these different prices plotted against each other. We've only got the head 4 in this race in the market shown in the ladders. That's all streaming live, updating information. On the left there you can see the ping, and down the bottom there on the bottom left is the legend for this chart. So you can see She's Our Derby has gone a little drift. It's the red line. You can see the dark green bars, which are the most recent traded volumes on the horse racing ladder. I'm just going to hedge out a portion of it there, and you'll see that the profit and loss column has actually changed. So now we're only exposed for a total of £62 liability if this horse was to win. We're not going to leave that to run because we're trading, we're not betting. But you can see that's offset our position nicely there. So if the price goes back to where it was, we're still in profit, about £5.55, whatever it was. So centering the ladders there, you can see I'm comparing them against each other, which is really important to have in your horse racing setup, because you need to see the full market depth, you need to see a total overview, the live information that's being expressed to you as it's happening, particularly the money that's flowing into the market with those dark green bars there. The light green bars show you the total volume traded at that price. Overall, dark green shows you for the last 40 seconds or so. We'll show you in the settings in a second how you can change that. But I'm going to say, look, I think the price is going to go back up to 3.85 there, so I'll place a back bet in the market using the software, all done in a second, and it's calculated my back stake. So you've got unmatched and matched down the bottom, and over on the left there you've got the matched also, so you can see where we entered and where we've placed a portion of our exit. Now if I go into the ladder settings from right clicking on the top there, you can see via the visual options here the last traded bar is set to 40 seconds. Now that's really important for horse racing. You don't want it for 5 minutes because all of the activity happens in the last 5 minutes and you want to see the difference just highlighted on screen there. Beyond that, you've got a few other settings. You can change the amount of columns, how it fits your screen. You've got the streaming charts, whether they're at the top, bottom. Now the settings for streaming charts up here, I like to have them at 10 seconds for the entire chart, 0.75 for the update, and over on the market overview, very similar there also. Total of 180 seconds. So that gives us some nice, recent, relevant information. You can see currently the ladder on the left there, Caught and Bald, has been, or if that's how you pronounce it, has been backed, and that's pushing out the price on the second favourite, which was formerly the favourite, She's Our Derby, the one we laid very early on in this video. So that overall is the most important parts for a horse racing setup in the dual screen in terms of software, because you want to see the most relevant information live and recent. So if we hedge up for £7.38 there, you can see it's gone green along the top across all selections. That means we're £7.38 profit no matter what happens in this horse race. If I pull up the Betfair Interface itself, because this software plugs into the Betfair exchange, and basically it's just allowing you to bet faster and with more information at your fingertips. Really important if you're looking to trade or get into trading horse racing. So go to the exchange tab, horse racing. This is the market raise and race 420, and you'll see that the bets that are placed, my total position, £7.30 odd green. Over on the right, where we laid, where we backed. I think that's quite a nice return considering it's just over 50 quid that was matched in the market. If you want to learn more about how and why the markets move so you can lock in a profit too, then check out the courses section on our website for pre-race trading courses. There'll be a link in the description below. So when it comes down to hardware, there's not actually that much you really need. There's extra things which can help you, as I'll go through now, but ultimately the main thing you need is a good amount of screen space. As you've just seen on screen there's a fair few things to keep track of. So having two screens, two monitors is helpful. I've got two 27-inch monitors here. You can use smaller screens. In the past, when I very first started trading, I used a laptop and plugged in a spare screen, so that's also a great way of doing it. Typically the trading softwares and the live video is really not that intensive in terms of machine, so you don't need that powerful machine, but we'll put some extra information in the description down below, and in fact there'll be a link to all of the hardware that I use in the description below this video too. So aside from two screens, you can have a hot keypad. That's something else that I've spoke about in the past. You can also set up hotkeys on your keyboard with your software as well, so you can manually program them in. That's advisable. There's a separate YouTube video on that. And also, as you may have noticed to my right here, I have a spare screen for streaming the racing live from satellite. Now there's lots of different services out there. Some are more delayed than the others, and it does change, and it's changed a lot over the years. So I don't want to go into the details on that one purely because it's likely it will change after this video is published again. But by all means, if you use a certain service, comment below, let us know what the current delay is like. Beyond this, something that is not talked about very often but is extremely important, and in fact there's 2 or 3 threads on our forum about it, is the environment in which you trade. So I trade from home currently. Obviously with this year's events and the pandemic, I decided to come back home. I've got a home office. It's distraction free. I don't get disrupted whilst I'm trading. Previously I've had an office away from home on purpose for that reason. Obviously I have other people in the office too, so we've done that. But basically what I'm trying to say here is really important in terms of hardware, if you want to view it like that you have space to trade. You want to be distraction free. You want to be able to focus and concentrate on what's happening. And that's just not going to happen if the dog's sitting on your feet, kids are sitting on your lap, and your wife's tapping on your shoulder because she wants you to do something around the house. So make sure you've got a clear environment, make sure you've got plenty of screen space, get those hotkeys set up appropriately. If you've got the option to have extra streaming services, and by all means do so. It can be particularly helpful with the comments and commentary. But in terms of hardware, that's all you really need. More details in the description down below. But before you go, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for future uploads, and also check out our most recent popular video at the top here, 3 football trading strategies for Betfair's exchange.